Well, hello everybody. My name is Rob Harvie from Mercy UK. It's great to be with you this morning. Granted, at the moment I'm talking directly into the back of my mobile phone, but it is great to be here with you. This date has been in the calendar for probably about 6 to 9 months, give or take a bit. I was supposed to be with you in person this morning, but obviously that can't happen at the moment. I'm sure that I'll be with you again in person at some point soon, but it's a pleasure and a privilege to be with you this morning at St Matt's. Now, for the last year or so, I've become quite close friends with your vicar, James. Don't know why. Maybe it's because we look the same. I don't know. But we've become quite close over the last year and a half, and he's asked me to speak today, as well as doing some training with you guys next month, which I'll share a little bit more about later on. But like I said, my name is Rob Harvie from Mercy UK. Just a bit of a rundown of who Mercy are. We are based in West Yorkshire, so we are somewhere between Bradford and Skipton, out the other side of Bradford, in a little village called Oxenhope. Now there we have a residential home and our corporate offices. The residential home is a home for young women aged 18 to approximately 30. This is a place where they get to come and have a full residential stay, approximately 9 months. So they'll stay with us the full time. They can go home and visit friends and family occasionally, but there'll be a fairly intensive discipleship home for these young women. These young women have got serious life controlling issues, things like drug abuse, sexual abuse, etc. And they come into our home very broken, and they really try to build their life back up again with Jesus and get their life back on track again. Now that home is completely free for them to come and to arrive, and they really have to do the hard graft as they really seek God for themselves. But we have an amazing team of 20 or so people that work with these young women. It's amazing. We also run effective discipleship resources. That's called Keys to Freedom. Some of you may be familiar with that as well. It has run at least once or twice through St Matt's. And again, I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. And we run some pastoral training, which is what we will run in October. Now, we do all this across the UK and across Western Europe. We partner with hundreds of churches across the UK. And our heart and our desire is to get alongside churches. We're not a parachurch. We're not a church within ourselves. But we get alongside churches like you and like many others. And we help strengthen and equip the church, the local church, to do what they can in the community. Because we really believe that the local church is the answer to the majority of the problems that we see in the UK at the moment. Now, I've been married to Debbie. Debbie is one of our senior team here at Mercy, so I get to work alongside her. But really, my Mercy journey started many years ago when Debbie was 11 years old. I didn't know her. We'd never met, but she was 11 and her boyfriend at the time was 29 years old. So you do the math. That's a big gap. Now, there's media pieces about her and different things written, so I don't mind sharing. But that's a world that you don't want to be in. She was thrown into that world very quickly as an 11 and 12-year-old girl. And that caused her life to completely spiral out of control. By the end when she was 18, she was highly addicted to drugs. She had been through everything. She was completely spiraling out of control, and really, she was one bad choice away from probably death, to be fair. And then a friend of hers, her sister, gave her a book, and the book was about Mercy. Now, Mercy was just a residential home in America at the time. This book was all about young women whose lives had been changed, and there was something in that Debbie said, I want to do that, I want to be part of that. So she got on a plane, she flew over to Nashville in America, went through the Mercy program and came back. And then when she came back, she started setting up, along with her sister and a handful of other amazing women, started setting up Mercy UK. Now, 15 years later, the home is running. We have 15 residents every 9 months come through the program on a rolling program, and I was a teacher for many years, and then I quit my job and came on staff here at Mercy to do just this, to do speaking and to training and to run some of our services. So it's a great pleasure and a privilege to do what I do. But we've been through many battles in our life. We've been married 17 years, or will be next month 17 years. We've been through many battles, as I'm sure many of you have, because we're just normal people doing normal things normal life. We've got 2 kids who are amazing kids, but we weren't able to have kids for many, many years in our 20s, and we went through a real significant fertility battle. And for those that have been in that battle before, you know that is a painful place to be. And for 3 years going through that was incredibly hard. Now we're blessed with 2 amazing children. My daughter is nearly 11 and my son is 9. My son is autistic, and again, for those that know what autism is and the traits of that, it can be quite a difficult thing to manage, but he's a wonderful, wonderful young boy. Obviously, I spoke about Debbie's past, and obviously that has been a battle for us as we were married, because when she came back from the Mercy program, we met about 6 months later. So she was very fresh out of all that abuse and all that world that she was in. She was very fresh out of that. So we've been through a fight and a battle for that as well. Recently, my father passed away about 1.5 years ago. My father passed away, which was a very difficult time for me. So I'm saying all this not because woe is me, because woe is not me at all. But I'm saying this because I want you to know that I'm just a normal person. There is no shine or gloss or big cheesy smile and all that jazz attached to this. What you see is sort of what you get. You get a rough and ready northern bloke who's bald and in his late 30s. And I say that because I think we're all in a similar boat at times. Now, many of you will be familiar with the Royal Armouries. It's down on Leeds Dock. If you've never been, I recommend you go. I think it opens this week or next week. It's a fantastic museum. It's free to go. I think at the moment, though, you've got to book your place to get in, but it's still free. But if you get a chance to go, it's an amazing museum. And if you've been, then you'll know it's an amazing museum. And I go there with my kids on a regular basis. And one of the quotes, I think it's second floor as you walk in, there's some black graphics on the wall. And one of the quotes is from a person called Vegdius. Now, he was a writer in the Roman Empire. And he said this. He said, "Let him who desires peace prepare for war." Let him who desires peace prepare for war. And that's what I want to talk on just for 10 or 15 minutes this morning. It's about peace, and it's about war, and it's about those two coming together. Now, we have all probably seen and heard the verse of John 10:10. "The thief comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy, but I have come that you may have life and have it to the full." We've all heard that. That's a classic Sunday school verse. But this is a very real fight. It's not a made-up scuffle. It's a very real fight between good and evil. It's a real fight against peace and against war. It's a fight between Jesus and the devil. And in John 10:10, when it talks about the devil coming to kill and to steal and to destroy, that rolls off the tongue quite easily. But actually, what does he come to kill, and what does he come to steal, and what does he actually come to destroy? Well, he comes to bring death to our passions. He comes to kill our life. Physically, absolutely. Many of you know suicide rates are through the roof at the moment. But he comes to destroy our dreams. He comes to kill our desires, to take away our fun, to obliterate any of our adventures, to take apart our family. He comes to kill that excitement that we have in our life, and he comes to destroy the peace that we have on our life. So while John 10:10 rolls off the tongue super easy, it's a very deep, very complex, very scary verse. Now I want to take you to Ephesians 6:12. Now this is in the Message version, and it says this. It says, "God is strong and he wants you strong. So take everything the Master has set out for you, well-made weapons of the best materials, put them to use so that you will be able to stand up to everything that the devil throws your way. This is no afternoon athletics contest that we'll walk away from and forget about in a couple of hours. This is for keeps. A life or death fight to the finish against the devil." That's Ephesians 6 verse 12. It's from the Message. And the bits that I really pull out of that is God is strong and he wants you strong. This is for keeps. A life or death fight to the finish against the devil. Now, many years ago, my grandfather passed away. He was in World War II. And when I went down with my family and we helped clear out some of his stuff, in his bedside drawer, the drawer that is literally by the pillow where you sleep, there was a couple of things, his watch, other things, but there was an envelope. We opened the envelope, and in the envelope were his handwritten notes from World War II, his handwritten medical report from World War II. And it stated on there the injuries that he'd sustained. He was in the Navy, he was on one of the ships, and it stated it was a bullet wound, a bullet shot to the shoulder, a graze, and a bullet shot to the thigh, again, sort of through and through. So he wasn't badly injured, but it was all handwritten. And just as those guys had written a hand report of my grandfather's wounds, how much more so does our God in heaven have a list and a report of the wounds that we've had? Wounds from childhood, wounds from people, wounds from circumstances. God knows our wounds, and God is absolutely in the business of healing those hurts and those wounds. But how? How does he go about that? Well, in Narnia, many of you will be familiar with this, but when referring to Aslan, they refer to Aslan, who is Jesus represented in the film. It says, is he safe? And the answer is no, but he's good. So is Jesus safe? Well, maybe not. But is he good? Yes, he is. Because the safe option is to sometimes hide, to bury yourself, to protect yourself, to cover yourself. If you're is it safe outside? No, well, I'll cover myself. But actually, what's the good thing to do? Well, for the majority of the time, the good thing is to fight. Going back to that quote from the Royal Armouries, let him who desires peace prepare for war. Well, really, we need to prepare for war if we want peace in our lives. Because you get to be the own hero in your own story. You get to be that hero if we allow Jesus in. Because we want to reconnect with Jesus in a way that maybe we haven't, especially at this time when we haven't been at church, or maybe some of us haven't, etc., etc. We can reconnect with Jesus in a very powerful way. But how do we do that? It's very easy for me to stand here and say, I'll just reconnect with Jesus. But then when we all go home or all turn the screen off, well, what does that actually mean in our everyday walk with him? Well, for me, it just means a couple of things. These aren't rocket science. This isn't new things that have come up. This is everyday stuff. But for me, it means prayer. It means connecting with Jesus in a very personal way, because he is very, very interested in you, in your internal world, in who you are as a person. He's interested in our health, our spiritual health, our mental health, our physical health. He is interested in our minds. He is interested in every part of our being. Now, we can speak and we can connect with God in prayer, and that can look however it looks for you. That could be a walk outside, that could be a quick prayer in the shower, it could be anything. But he is very interested in those connections. So if you need peace in areas of your life, go to war for them. I have a 10-year-old girl, nearly 11-year-old daughter. I'm going to need some peace in my life as she grows up, as she becomes a teenager. Next year she goes to high school. I'm going to need some peace in my life. So how do I get peace? Well, I fight. And how do I fight? Well, I pray. How else do I fight? Well, maybe we could do a Bible study. Maybe there's something in the Word of God that you can find. You can just sit and read it for yourself, absolutely. Or maybe there's a Bible study. Many of you will have on your phone the Bible app YouVersion. That's got thousands and thousands of free Bible study downloads. So go on there, find the topic that you're struggling with or that you want to look a little bit more at, and do a Bible study. It doesn't take long. I know we're in working from home, etc., but surely all of us can find 5 minutes a day. And I speak to myself in that as well. Surely I can find 5 minutes a day to do some more Bible study. Maybe you can connect with your St. Matt's Connects groups. Maybe there's someone in there, some of your friends, and there's some fellowship there that you can talk to about some of the areas that you want peace in your world and some of the ways that you can fight for that peace. And maybe you could look at something called Keys to Freedom. That's our discipleship resource from Mercy UK. I know that you guys, many of your team are trained in that because I came to your building and trained them last year. And I know that that's a course that has been and probably will be again rolling out. It's an 8-week discipleship course. It's 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week across 8-week period. And that is designed to transform your life from the inside out, to really connect you to Jesus and to really bring healing and freedom to some of those areas that you need help with, that you really want to fight for. And there's also practical help. I'm a very practical person, so while I totally stand by everything I've already said, I'm very practical. So if you need to fight for something in your life, if you're finding something isn't quite right, well, are you eating right? I know it sounds daft, but are you eating right? Are you sleeping well? Are you exercising just 20 minutes a day of a walk? You know that that can do you good. Are you finding that rest time? Not that busy, stop, crash, sleep, next day. Busy, stop, crash, sleep. But actually finding some time to rest, whatever that is, a film or a program or a book or just a bit of quiet time, whatever that rest time is. So let him who desires peace prepare for war. Now, I'm going to finish now, and I'm going to finish with 3 questions that I'd like you to genuinely try and get an answer to. So question 1 is, what area or areas of your life would you like more peace in? And be specific. Don't just say family, because family can incorporate many people. Which people? What areas? Is it wife? Is it children? Is it brother? Is it etc, etc? What areas, be specific, of your life would you like more peace in? What things, question number 2, what things in this area can you do better or that can you fight for? And question 3, tell somebody what you plan to do. So the areas that you want peace in, what can you do to fight for it? And share that thought with somebody. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be someone in your Connect group. But as soon as you voice it, it becomes a real thing. If it stays in your head, it's just well, maybe one day that might happen. So if you can answer those 3 questions, maybe we can move forward in fighting for the peace that God so truly wants us to have. Well, thanks guys. It's been a pleasure being with you for these 15-20 minutes. There will be information from the team about our Empower training course, which we'll be doing in October over 2 evenings. That's our pastoral training day. So those that are working with people or just want some more pastoral tools will be with you. Again, it'll be Zoom, sadly. It won't be face-to-face, but you can get more information from your team. And obviously, if you want any information on Keys to Freedom, you can come directly to us or go to some of your team. So hopefully I will see you face-to-face very soon. But bless you, St. Matt's. Thanks very much. We'll speak to you soon.